Welcome to week 3 of Blokes and Balls. Sorry about last week, we couldn't have an episode, we had some technical issues. Dave forgot his mic.
Don't blame me.
We're going to start off the show, just a shout out to one of our young fans up in the UK, Kai Butter. Thank you for watching, big Chelsea fan. Don't worry about your team, not a great start, but we're sure you will be fighting for 6th or 7th this season. Not so bad.
If you're lucky. Just kidding.
Alright, so let's start off with looking at some of these transfers that is still going on in the last week before the window closes. First one, Eriksen to leave Spurs.
Yeah, I'm still going to say yes, he is.
You think he's going to go?
I think he's going to. I'm going to say yes, he is. So.
You think there's a destination? I've seen everything has gone cold. I mean, there was Atletico, there was Real, there was all these talks.
Yeah,
now it's just still leaving, but nobody really knows.
He did wave to the away fans last week, which I don't recall him doing much. Well, he didn't wave, he clapped when he walked off the pitch. Maybe it was just being nice, but I just thought that was a bit strange. Yeah, and he played terrible anyway, so yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've got to say.
Alright, so we're going to go, yes, he's leaving?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think Spurs need him. You know, I think he's that creative player for him. So I don't think he's going to go. I can't see where he's going to go.
Right. I've got to go. I've got to agree.
Okay.
I think it had been earlier in the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's too late now. Who are you going to replace him with? Ali.
Celso.
Yeah, but then Ali is Celso's backup.
Well, you know. All right, stay Eriksen, please stay.
All right, so Eriksen's staying.
If
Okay, well, you're saying he's leaving.
I think he is. Yeah, I think he has a chance of going.
Okay, fair enough. Sanchez to Inter Milan.
Yes, I hope for your case that he's going to go. Yeah, I think there's a strong. United obviously want to get rid of him, and it's really up to, I guess, if they agree personal terms or not.
Well, look, let's look at Sanchez's stats. So 11 million per goal.
This is a disgrace, by the way.
Yeah, Dave's really
He should
upset
be disgusted with himself.
Yeah.
Well, look, he was also injured.
Okay. For all of it.
I'm not a Sanchez fan, but I mean, let's just take that into consideration. So far, 6.1 million per assist, 2.5 per shot on target. Okay, these are millions, by the way. Okay, 1.7 million per game. 764,000 pounds per chance created, and 19,800 pounds per minute played. I think the thing is, for me, I would say I want him to go. I think for him, he needs to go. I just don't see it happening.
Why?
Yeah,
because of the wages?
Yeah, I think the wages. I think.
The personal terms.
Inter Milan already struggled, right, to get Lukaku. They had to make funds available to get Lukaku. They're still trying to offload Icardi, right, with Wanda. So I wonder why that has not happened yet. Okay, but I mean, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they have the funds. I don't think they have the funds.
What wage demands is Sanchez? He can't seriously be demanding what he's on now.
Well, look, the feedback that we're getting from some of our sources at United is that he's turning up for training. His rehab has been the same as you would have for somebody that you're going to keep in your squad. He's not been put aside on his own. I think there's still a plan to have him play. I think they would look at it, if somebody can take him over but take his entire wage with it, he would probably go. But until that happens, they'll probably go like, hey, he's part of the team and he's going to play, he's a good backup, and there you go.
I've got to think, you look at it like United could bring another 2 top class players in on his wage.
Yeah, true.
It's not working out, is it?
No.
It's not likely to work out either. So I just don't... look, again, for myself, I think for him, he needs to go, but I don't see it happening. You see it happening? This window?
It's 50-50 for me.
I
mean, it's all depending if they can agree terms and they can finance it.
So yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, he leaves, okay.
Yeah, because I just hate him. No, and
Okay.
I'm glad he didn't come sit it.
Okay. All right, fair enough. He's going.
You said no?
I say no. I just don't think it will happen. That's for me.
Yeah.
Mustafi and El-Neni to leave Arsenal. Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Emery came out saying best they continue their careers somewhere else.
Yeah.
They haven't featured last season. They weren't happy about it, and he cannot see them featuring this season. So I think it's more or less the same type of case with Sanchez. It's good for them to go and go play somewhere else. But I think they left it a little bit late.
Yeah.
I think they left it. They should have made this public earlier.
Yeah.
And then it would have maybe been teams looking at that. Because now all the teams are kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, they're set up for the...
It's the last week,
Yeah.
right? And it's not like the old days where you go like, hey, I want you, here's the money, here we agree and off we go. Now there is image rights, your sponsors, long-term contracts with bonuses attached, the legal paperwork that goes with that. It's not a week or 2 week process anymore. You're talking about a month or 2 months that it takes to wrap these things up. So I think they should go, but I don't see them leaving before the end of the window closes.
Loan?
On loan, possibly.
Yeah, I guess we still do loan. I mean, say for everyone involved, it's best they go.
Yeah.
And if the clubs were looking at it, I'm sure they would have come in already. It was pretty obvious that Arsenal didn't want Mustafi or El-Neni there. So if there's not been a club before, it's kind of hard to see how there'll be a club now. So I think they're going to be stuck there.
So you say no as well?
I would say no. Yeah.
Not
I
going?
don't think so.
Okay. But definitely then they will be gone next window.
What's the contract?
Unless they turn it around and play absolute...
You see, that's the question
really
that's
good.
going to come up, isn't it? They're going to play for reserves now.
Yeah.
Who's going to see them playing reserves? Unless they specifically go and scout them and say, they still have it or they don't. But they're not going to see them playing at the highest level and be attractive to other teams.
Mustafi was a German international, wasn't he? So maybe some club will go, maybe his experience is useful. El-Neni, I have no idea who, would look at him. I mean, it's been disastrous at
Turkey,
Arsenal,
maybe?
isn't he? Yeah.
Someone like Galatasaray,
Yeah.
Besiktas.
I think Monaco were linked with Mustafi early in the window, so that's about it.
Monaco, cool. Right, so let's look at the games coming up this week. First one, United versus Palace at home. I think this is going to be a game where it's going to come down to how Zaha performs and how well Man United targets him. I don't see him being motivated at the moment. Palace comes off a draw and a loss, sitting 14th in the league. I know it's early days, but I think that's probably where they're going to be the entire season, more or less. Do you agree
Last
with that?
season, the away form, we're saying off air, was I think third best, maybe, or second or third best in the whole league, which is well, maybe it was third best. Yeah, it's behind the top two, I think, which is great. And you'd think, I thought they would carry it on, but then obviously Zaha's head's been turned. But if you looked at how Sheffield United defended against Palace, it was just 4 men on Zaha the whole time.
Yeah.
And literally everyone else is just not capable.
And now they've lost Bissaka as well, which was a big thing for them.
It was a big loss,
It's going to be interesting to see how Bissaka plays against Palace. Whether maybe he becomes a target man for Palace as well. They will know how he plays.
Be winding him up, maybe.
Possibly.
There might be some extra edge in there for Palace players, maybe.
No. Because you will now have it on both sides, right? You'll have Zaha on Palace side, ex-United player, and now you have Bissaka on United side being an ex-Palace player.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be messaging each other.
There would be.
Yeah.
There would be, definitely.
It might be the motivation Palace need, but I still think United will win that game.
I think United concentrate on their own game. I think they'll win comfortably. Well, I've gone for 2-1.
2-1? What do you think?
3-1.
3-1. I think 2-0. I think we won't concede. I think we'll probably score 60th minute and 85th minute or something while Palace tries to break and we catch them unawares on the counter. Yeah. My lineup for the game will be De Gea in goal, and then from the right, Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw on the left. I think that's fairly obvious. And then McTominay and Pereira behind Pogba. I think Pereira comes in for Lingard. Lingard has been woeful to say the least.
Shout out to Johan's mate Lingard.
And then on the left, the front three, left will be Rashford, then Martial, and then I'm going to make a big call. I'm going to say Solskjaer is going to start Greenwood instead of James. That's going to be my lineup.
Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. Brave.
Yeah, the Lingard being dropped is the one, that you're hoping for.
I think not just Johan.
I think, yeah.
I think like 3/4 of United fans are going like, yes, please put someone else there.
So that's just whether Ollie wants to do that or not.
I think against a team like Palace, it makes sense, right? You're playing at home against Palace, who is struggling at the moment, who doesn't look very motivated, doesn't look like they're going to score goals by the bucket loads. And I think Palace will want to score, so it might become a bit of an open game. That's when you want to try a few new things, and I think Greenwood shows promise. I mean, I've watched him in the pre-season, and honestly, for me, it's a coin toss between starting James and starting Greenwood. James, obviously, by far the fastest player in the Premier League, and that gives him an edge. But in terms of skill and natural finish, Greenwood is just, it's light years ahead.
Yeah, you can see against Wolves, James's pace was worrying their left back, but when he got to the end position, you can see his end product it's not up to scratch just yet. And,
exactly.
So giving him time.
I think Bissaka will probably free up Greenwood, find the gaps, let him make a run of his own, and just with a little bit of skill, be able to provide a better quality ball. That's my thinking. But that's it. I think we're fairly easy on this game.
I agree on that. United win.
We all agree on that one. Yeah.
United win.
It's rare we always agree, by the way. So there you go. Actually, we agreed at all the games this week.
Oh, to be honest, we did. Yeah. Bournemouth versus City. Yeah, Dave, what do you think?
Yeah. Starting lineup. I've gone Edison, Cancelo, Otamendi, Laporte, and Zinchenko. Back four. Midfield three. Rodri sitting. Kevin De Bruyne just in front on the right. Bernardo just in front on the left. Then front three, I've gone Sterling, Aguero in the middle, and then Mahrez.
I think I agree. I think we all think City's going to win this one quite comfortably. I've gone with 3-1.
Yeah.
You were?
For City, 5-1.
5-1.
Yeah.
Spanky.
Yeah, I've gone 4-0.
Okay.
4-0. Spanking as well. There you go.
Also, okay. I would say on that lineup, I've just got two things. I think Cancelo for Walker. Walker, I think everybody that's watched the show knows I am not a Walker fan. But I think probably he would start above Cancelo still at the moment. And then I would probably have just said I think Pep will probably play Jesus
instead of Aguero. Yeah, I don't know. I think after last week, the little ruckus on the sideline, I just think, Pep's going to go on, show me what you've got now. Like that.
Aguero still scored in that game, That's what's so funny. He still scored.
Well, Aguero thought he was blaming him for the goal, but he wasn't. He was,
because it wasn't his fault at all.
I just think that because it's his last season, you have to give who's going to replace him more time.
Yeah, enough time, and I think he'll do that. But he's our top goal scorer, and
it's Bournemouth.
Yeah,
it's Bournemouth. It's not like you're playing United or Liverpool, or your B team. Yeah. It's you're playing Bournemouth.
Yeah, we'll see. I just think Aguero.
It's hard to. It's always hard to predict City's lineup.
Yeah,
it's one of those ones that does change every week.
Yeah, I mean you've got both an A and B team that can win games. Which is nice.
Exactly. That's what Mourinho said, didn't he? Yeah. He said City's B team can win the league as well. He's 100% spot on, really. If you look at it.
It's strong.
Let's look at Spurs versus Newcastle. Right.
Yeah. Very simple lineup. So I've gone for the same defence as the first two games. I think defence has done okay. So you've got Walker-Peters, Toby, Sanchez and Rose as a flat back four. Lloris in goal. Shout out to Lloris as always. So I've gone for a 4-2-3-1 this week. So I've gone Sissoko and Dembele. Then I've got Son, who's back in after suspension. I've stuck with Eriksen because I think he still takes over priority of Celso. Moura on the right hand side and Kane up front.
Score?
I've gone for what did I go for? A 4-1 to Spurs.
4-1, okay.
I say I'm actually looking forward to this game because Newcastle looked awful in the first 2 weeks. We did predict that with Benitez going out, and they've got a lot of turmoil at the club there. And
losing Perez was a big.
You can see defensively, if you looked at last week against Norwich, 0 fight in Newcastle's team, 0 passion, track back. You think it's hard to see them picking themselves up, and I know Bruce will try and hammer them, but if you get an early goal against them, I think they'll just capitulate.
They'll fall to bits, I think.
So I think we should win that comfortably.
I think I agree. I'm still going to go 2-0 because I think Bruce will go heavy defensive and sit back and frustrate you. I think that is unless Nombele comes up with an early screamer and opens the game up.
It's the same defensive team Newcastle had. They didn't lose any of their midfielders or defenders. So those players know how to do it. Under Benitez, they were doing a really good job, especially last season against Newcastle at home. They really frustrated us, but they're struggling with motivation this year. So I think he would try and set up defensively, but I think the players are just not doing it for him.
I think I'd struggle for motivation if I was on 40 grand a week.
Versus the others. Versus the others. But I think you went for what, 3-1?
I've gone 3-1, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So at least you're saying, but you're both saying that Newcastle will score.
Yeah.
I think Spurs defence have done alright. I'm still not 100% confident they're fully firing. Still worried about Jan Vertonghen not being included. Sanchez has a mistake in him. I think if Vertonghen was there, I'd be happy with a clean sheet. But I think at the moment, Walker Peters is still sort of bedding in. A Newcastle striker, I just have a feeling the new striker they've got will get a goal.
Okay.
He's missing his chances the first 2 weeks, but I think he might take one this week.
Okay. Well, fair enough on that. I think in terms of your team setup, I think you're 100% correct. But obviously, I think all three of us would like to see Celso starting and getting game time. But, I think you want the points. I think it'll be fun.
You can see Winks is the only player I've left out. Because you don't need to be defensive in this game. He shouldn't be anyways.
Exactly, and the top half is still very close. I mean, everybody's on 4 points except for Liverpool. Yeah.
And Arsenal.
And Arsenal, yeah. So those are the only two that's on 6.
And they're playing each other this week.
Yeah, exactly. So you have an opportunity to draw level now on points going into week 3. And I think it's going to be a very, very tight race until probably about half the year, end of December.
You get to Christmas, don't you?
Exactly, because then it's when you play so many games in succession that your depth really start, showing. I think that's where Liverpool's going to struggle. But I mean, we'll talk about it when we get there. But I think that's probably there. And if you can stay close now until you get there, the sides or the teams that have depth in their squad, like United, like Spurs, like City, I think you will see then a little bit of a boost coming from their side versus the others that will probably struggle a bit.
Yeah.
Let's look at the entire weekend's predictions. This is an interesting one because there's not many games where we all three agree.
I think most games this week are, more easier to predict, let's say, than maybe last week was. Last week we'll come on to our sort of 5 out of 10 correct. But
yeah, let's not talk about last week's results. I think Villa will probably be good for a draw, playing at home. They do want to play attacking football. I know both of you went for a win. It's fair enough. All I'm going to say is I think they could potentially get there. We've got Norwich versus Chelsea. You've gone for a draw there.
Gone for a draw. We'll call it the Pookie effect. That's what I'll label it the Pookie effect. So we were talking off air, and Pookie's looked very impressive, finishing wise.
He was on 4 goals.
I thought last season he was like top scorer, I think, in the Championship. And you never know with a player coming up. Like Abraham was very high scorer, and he's not done what Pookie's done yet. So Pookie's just hit the ground running already. Scored first week, hat trick. Norwich, to be fair to them, played good football. And Chelsea, I said from the beginning, sorry to our fans back in London there,
To our Chelsea fan, Kai, at least we are backing your team.
Yeah. I wanted to find something positive to say about Chelsea. Chelsea, solid team, but I think Norwich, being at home, will give Chelsea problems and get a draw.
Okay. Brighton, Southampton, 2 draws. Joe, you going for a win for Brighton there?
Brighton have looked impressive.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, compared to what Brighton were doing last year.
Yeah,
They're actually playing football, so...
United versus Palace, we're all 3 going for a win there.
United
That's fine. Sheffield, Leicester, I think we're all in agreement there. Leicester.
Have we all gone Leicester?
Yeah, all win there for Leicester. Watford, West Ham, draw and a win for West Ham.
It's just purely based on what we've seen in the first 2 weeks. Watford looking poor.
So did West Ham.
West Ham got a draw at Brighton, so improvement. And also we just found out Troy Deeney's out for a few weeks now. He's had a knee operation. And he was an influential figure last season, wasn't he? Troy Deeney. In a game like that, you want Troy Deeney.
Yeah.
So.
No, but that's why I'm not going for a win. That's why I'm saying rather a draw.
Yeah,
I think draw.
Could be a close game.
No.
I
you
draw.
say that, Agent.
I think West Ham will win.
Okay. Liverpool versus Arsenal. Ooh, okay. A win and a win from me and Joe. A draw from Dave. Although Dave has written something there on his notes there.
6-0 Arsenal.
I've got a feeling that's going to be a repeat every weekend.
So what were you saying, Dave? The actual result? A draw?
Draw, yeah. I've gone draw.
Just tell us why you think that's a draw.
Because I think, we spoke about this before the show. Liverpool's defence has not looked, as strong as it did last year. And I think Arsenal's, front three are, they're firing. And I just, Liverpool are a strong team. They're a strong team, but, I can see Arsenal keeping them pegged down to a draw.
I would have agreed with you had they played at the Emirates.
Yeah.
But
that's the gamble I'm taking.
I think it's a different story.
It is, but
obviously I'm not an Arsenal fan, obviously, but all the talk is about them making improvements this season, and this is the game you have to show it, right? You have to.
It's going to be a good test
away from home, like we've always talked about it. And you're right. Liverpool's defence is not looking. Obviously, Alisson's got injured, so and Adrian had an assist last week, so in his own net, didn't he? Well, he passed the ball to Innings. She has more assists.
Great pass.
Great
Does
pass.
he get an assist?
Amazing.
Does he get an assist?
Doesn't get an assist. What a fantasy. He's got more assists than Lingard's got this year. So,
that's true.
But Arsenal's attack, Arsenal can score goals. It's just whether they've got enough about them to defend well.
Yeah.
They have to against Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool so good at home.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be closer than last 2 years where Liverpool smashed them.
Yeah.
I think.
But I think they will still edge it. I think you're and I both on the
2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah. Bournemouth City. Wow, difficult one to predict.
You never
but
know.
Eventually, we all 3 came down to a win for City. And then we go on to Spurs, Newcastle. Again, we've already spoken about this. Newcastle just not in it.
Yeah.
So Spurs win there, very easy. And then Wolves Burnley, which is an interesting one. We've all agreed on a Wolves win.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, you never really know because Barnes starts so well at the start of the season, kind of drops off at the end. It's still early season. They might nick it. They might even force a draw.
Burnley. I never say easy to play.
No.
And the way they played against Arsenal last week was just long balls. Just trying to hit up towards Barnes and what's the other guy? Woods? Woods?
Yeah.
West, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And that's their tactic. And against a team like Wolves, might frustrate them.
I think it will frustrate them. I think it will because they attack. They're very, very structured, but they do leave gaps in the back. And what frustrated me when we were playing them on Monday was that we didn't utilise those gaps. And it was every time that, and I'm sorry to say this, but Lingard fucked it up every single time. He would get the ball where there was a gap and then just lose it. So I think that's one of the things that if you have a team that in that position, the 10 or maybe a false 9 position, that can utilize that better. And if you look at a team, like you say, like Barnes is a strong character, strong runner, strong dribbler.
And he scores goals.
He's one of those that can keep the ball up and play it to the sides and make something happen. So, it could be that they pick something in, but I still think playing at the Molineux, very structured, very settled Wolves team, I think it'll be a...
Didn't Wolves play in Europe the other night?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was an easy. I think
they won 3-2.
Yeah.
They won 3-2.
Oh, was it 3-2?
Yeah, 3-2.
That's going to affect. The Wolves is definitely.
They have to get used to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
True.
Transitioning from Europe to, travelling. They're not used to
Sunday.
that.
They will have one day rest in between. So,
like you said, they're organised and good manager.
Yeah.
Rate high.
So let's look at our prediction table at the moment. David and I on a respectable 55% accuracy in terms of our predictions. The Oracle, 65%, which is decent. Already had 1 8 out of 10 weekend.
Had a good week first week. Last week was,
5
joint with you.
Join with me, but I'm already on that. So for me, that's like normal.
It was. I get 4.
4.
Tough week because we had ManCity, Spurs.
Yeah.
And then I went for a Wolves win.
I'm gonna have to start.
Which you got correct. You got the draw there, so well done on that one. That was a good prediction. So far, all my draws I've predicted as draws, I've got those correct.
Okay.
So I've only gone for one draw this week. So
if there's any of our viewers thinking about betting this weekend, you go off this man's predictions and not our predictions.
We've listed them off for you, so
it'll be on our Instagram as well.
Yeah,
just go and have
take a look and
let's
gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly. We're gonna be picking up a Paddy Power sponsorship.
15-year-old Chelsea fan watching at home, and you're telling them if you're going to put a bet on.
But I said if. I didn't say go and do it. I said
if you do, get your dad to do it.
You can go to the bookies and then go in the pub on the way. You might make a day of it.
It says a lot about Dave, doesn't it?
Dave should know.
What age did you start doing that, Dave?
Table, fantasy league table. It's been an interesting league so far. Very interesting. Top of the table, 142 points. Thank you very much.
Done.
There we go.
Well done.
My weekly predictions do not reflect my
It's a
statistical
role reversal.
ingenious. But the points here it does. Your brother in third place.
Shout out to
David. Well done, Dave.
Yeah.
And that's
Good
with
job,
a 12-point penalty.
12-point deduction for transfers.
So he could have been in the lead.
Could have been.
We will retract the clap for that. Because he could have been in the lead. And then, if you go a little bit further down, we've got David. Seventh position,
Still in it.
Still in it.
Still well this season.
Nearly relegated last season. So, top half of the mid-table.
It's on top half of the mid-table.
Here we go. And then we got our old friend Fadi there in 11th and Ali in 14th. Joe. Man,
Joe.
Managed to get out of the relegation
off
zone.
the bottom. That's.
Is that your wild card?
I used the wild card last week, which obviously went really well.
So you might go back now.
I'm happy with the.
Oh no, wild card stays, right? It's free.
Wild card stays.
Wild card stays.
Yeah. I've gone for triple captain this week.
Okay.
I've gone for a big week, and I'm.
Who's your captain this week?
Kane.
Oh,
and
that might work.
It's either going to work or it's going to fail miserably. So
I laugh they rest him this weekend. Oh, that'll be amazing.
If they rest him, I've got Mane as my backup.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm confident as well.
Fair enough. Playing Arsenal, might get 1 goal, so not too bad.
Nah, he's got a good record against Arsenal.
Interesting one there at the bottom of the league. Mr. Ian Smith. So Smith apparently won the ManCity league, fantasy league last season. You've got a little bit of work to do. It's a long season ahead. Maybe he's just giving us all a head start.
Yeah.
Okay. Go and think that you're going to win.
I'm happy you took over my last place for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Guys, you can still join our fantasy league. The code's on the screen.
Yep.
You're welcome to do so. We're always looking forward to it. If you've got any questions, any comments, anything that you would like us to discuss, different player comparisons, we've done some of them off the show, which was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I still prefer Jones above Stones, just saying.
No way.
Just say that louder for the viewers to hear, Johan. You're going to get some flack for that.
Anyway, so that's our show for the weekend. Enjoy the football and see you again next week.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.